Yo, what's up guys, I'm back on a video for you. This time I've got a little bit of a different kind of video for me. I've never really done this or speculated doing this, but I thought since it's a lot of money when you buy a FIFA every year, you kind of want to know what's new and all that kind of stuff. So if you haven't seen anything, I'm going to run you through everything that's been leaked so far that's coming out in FC25. Now, obviously you got the basic stuff here. You got when it comes out on the 20th for the Ultimate Edition and all that, and the 27th for the normal standard edition. Obviously, you've got 3 icons in player career. We've got R9, Beckham, Zidane. You've got an Eva coming out at the start of the year. Also, you're going to get the 4,600 FIFA points just like normal. And again, I think you also do get here around November time. So, on to the more juicy stuff. The stuff they're going to add and remove. So obviously, as you probably speculated already, they are actually removing some of the positions. They are removing right wing back, left wing back and centre forward, which means you can't play the 4-3-2-1. You also probably can't play a 5-back, but the looks of that. And also, a lot of things are changing with work rates. There'll be no work rates at all. It will be determined on plus and plus plus, depending on player roles. I think it's more to help stop the people having like Hosselu at right back, which I have been doing this year, and all this kind of stuff. So obviously, if you've got like a target man like Haaland, he'll have a role which suits him to be a target man and only really up front, just so people can't do stupid stuff like they have done this year, which kind of really did break the game a lot. But obviously, when you have the plus, they can still do certain things. They're probably more like a cam in a centre mid kind of position. And obviously, if they're like a centre mid like Bellingham and a box to box, it would pretty much be perfect. So they're also adding a few new skill moves to this year. They're adding the toe drag step over, which I feel like could be very, very OP. It doesn't really give too much detail on what they're going to be, but that sounds very OP. Same with the big feint. Obviously, if you have like a little small quick step player, that big feint might be very OP. And the step over ball, that it seems a little bit basic, but it could be good. Heel nutmeg, again, could be good. The drag turn is another one that could be really, really amazing. I imagine it might be a 5-star skill or even a 4-star, but generally, that is quite nice additions. Now, maybe they're going to take away some of the skill moves because, like, obviously, you can't have too many different variables of skills, purely because you don't have enough like movements on your joystick to do it. But another thing they're actually doing, you can also do tactical fouls in the new FIFA. I don't know the buttons correctly yet, but what I do know is you'll get an instant yellow card if it does connect on a tactical foul, which is very, very new and very, very weird for FIFA to have because it never has had that before. Now, another nice addition to the new game is that the rival rewards are going to be completely different. Now, because of how it was this year, you could pretty only much benefit from a win. If you drew, it pretty much was a loss, so it didn't really matter. And especially if you were in Elite like I was, it doesn't particularly mean anything to you because obviously your skill rating doesn't really like determine how many wins you get and stuff like that. So overall, it's a very nice change that draws actually do affect it. Obviously, it's a point system rather than a little bit of a ladder system, which I do actually think is a really nice addition by EA because when it was that ladder base, it just didn't seem right. You could be an elite and you couldn't get relegated. It just didn't seem odd, and I'm pretty sure that is going to be a thing for next year as well. You can get relegated. But another thing they're doing is they are actually dropping the matchmaking where you have from rivals into friendlies. So you're going to have friendlies via a Div 10 player. Let's say maybe if you're a lower skill player, you're not going to like this update. But me as an elite player, I really like this. I want friendlies to be a nice chill game mode. Obviously, I don't want to be battering Div 10s. But you get what I mean? I want to have a bit more chill out time. Otherwise, I might as well just go to rivals at that point. Now, one of the new additions to Ultimate Team I don't particularly like is the fact they're bringing a normal season pass and also a paid for one. I feel like that's very, very naughty right here because that's going to create a lot more pay to win than it already is. Because obviously, you're pretty much paying for all these promo packs throughout the year, which is going to get you a better cards rated team. And if you're buying a premium pass as well, you're going to get more cards and obviously better cards earlier than the other players. And obviously, I know FIFA's a pay to win game naturally. But when you're adding a season pass that you have to pay for, on top of the 90 quid for the game if you're going to get the ultimate, and also on top of the FIFA points you might spend, it doesn't really add up to me that they're putting so much FIFA point based stuff into it. I would think they do less and less of that, but unfortunately it seems like they're actually going to ramp it up a little bit more this year, so that's a little bit disappointing. And if it's any more than 8 quid per season, I don't really see it being worth it. Obviously maybe at the start for the first couple of months because you're not really going to have the best of teams, but after that I would say it's probably not even going to be worth the time and effort. Now next is a little bit of a mixed one. It is clubs and also Ultimate Team. Now this is the 2 game mode I play relentlessly in FIFA. I don't really play career mode or any of the Volta kind of stuff, but I'm glad this is a thing. I'm not really too sure how it'll work because obviously the people that play clubs will get a significant advantage on Ultimate Team to the people that don't play clubs. So obviously some people might not have a lot of friends to play clubs with. Maybe you can play drop-in matches, but Overall, it's going to be a little bit of a sticky one to see how that works. I don't think they should make the rewards that amazing. But clubs has always been a thing where it's never been quite rewarding to play. Obviously, it's amazing to get wins and that. I've been top 100, top 40 in the world, but it's never been quite rewarding. You don't get anything for it, just some little trophies which don't really mean anything to you. So to have a little bit of a connected thing with Ultimate Team and clubs is quite a nice addition. It just all is variable on how they actually do it in game, because I feel like it could be very, very messy if they make it too good, to be honest. So, on to another clubs update. We have a few things on here. So, first we have relegation matches are back, which is really, really nice to have, because I really didn't like it how the fact there were so many people saturated in the elite division in clubs, purely because there's not really many people that deserve it. Obviously, you have to go through the 5 games of that playoffs, and if you win all 5, you get into elite. But there's some teams that don't really deserve to be in there, or shouldn't be around that, so I'm glad they are back to make a little bit more anticipation with it. Now, Club's House is replacing the static menu. I find it a little bit weird. I don't really know how it's going to work. Maybe it's going to be a lot more fun to watch your players and that interact in the dressing room and stuff like that. But overall, we'll wait to see how that goes. Now, this is a brilliant one. I'm so glad that EA have finally done this. I think they should have done this year when adding 3 and 4 Playstyle Plus on Ultimate Team. That 3rd Playstyle Plus is going to be so effective, especially for someone like me, a big man. I've scored like 1.7k goals this year. But to have that 3rd Playstyle Plus, because I have the Rapid, I have the Aerial Plus, I would love like a first touch or something like that, or maybe a passing one to slot some of my mates in. It would be so, so nice to have, and I'm so glad that it's finally achievable next year. Now, next up is going to be the shortcut menu to Ultimate Team, which is just a little bit of a quick menu to get around, which is really nice because obviously clubs takes a lot of time to go to your pro, etc, etc. Now, you can also play your pro in the new rush game mode, which I'll talk about in a minute, but that is going to be a really nice update as well if you've got like a really wacky pro and you want to play with it in that rush game mode. Now, to be honest, this isn't really one that affects me. It's to do with career mode. I've never really been a big career mode fan. I've played a few of FM, but overall, the icons will be added into player career, which I don't really know too much about. I'm guessing they didn't have it where it was just normal, but I do quite like that addition if it is going to be like the Buffons and that like they've got on the cover stars, which is going to be very, very nice to have, because obviously just have a little bit more variety. Now, I don't really know how that works. Obviously, you're meant to sign like younger players like that in career, but if you've got icons and then maybe they could be managers and stuff like that, I don't really know, but that's just a little addition from EA there. Now, though, I'm never a really big career mode fan. I know there is a big population of the FIFA community that really do like playing career mode. So some of these updates are going to be really, really nice for you. So you're able to test and develop your talents through the rush game mode, which is quite nice to add a little bit more impact on that rush game mode to other things overall. And obviously there's more countries available for scouting, which could be really good as well, because maybe there's a few lesser countries that have really good talents in their nationalities, but you don't really get to see them purely because FIFA didn't really want to add them, but they have now. Now, there's a lot more scouting details like positions and player roles, obviously like I talked about before in Ultimate Team. I imagine that's going to be a somewhat similar story, where you're going to have like a false 9 kind of striker, like a Firmino or something like that, or maybe like a target man like Weghorst or something like that. Now, another thing which I know that will be a really great thing for them is their youth players will actually be looking young. Now, I'm guessing for them, they didn't really have the best of game faces. They never really have on career mode. People cry out for it, I've heard, but apparently, they generally look really young now, which is going to be a really nice addition when you're playing with them. Now, another career mode update, they are also adding women into career mode, which I think is actually a little bit of a positive. I know last year there was a lot of uproar about women being in the Ultimate Team, but since they've been more inclusive with the Ultimate Team, I do really think they should be in career mode as well, and that is why they're introducing them now. Obviously, they're going to be all-known leagues, like they said, so I think there's Bundesliga 1 and 2 at the women's, same with the Spanish League, same with the Premier, all that kind of stuff, and it also does add a little bit more of a bracket to scout younger players as well from both men's and women's side. Now, it is also possible that men's coach become a women's coach, which will be quite interesting to see. I don't really see much change there, because it's obviously you should be playing with the women's players and stuff like that instead. But overall, I do see this as a positive. Obviously, like I just said there's no difference in the features. It's still going to play exactly the same. He's obviously just going to be coaching a men's team or a women's team. Now, although Volta wasn't really a success in my opinion, I've always wanted like a skill game mode like Volta, but I just never really got into it. I never thought it was that amazing. But this new rush game mode 5v5 does seem very interesting. And now I think 5v5 is your friends, so that could be really good. Obviously, I think you play your pro clubs characters as well. Now, integrated into existing gamers like I've already talked about. Race to the kickoff, which could be really, really fun. Obviously, I'm quite slow being a tall striker, so it wouldn't really work for me. But there's a penalty, it will 1v1 duel with the keeper, like I think it's American style penalties. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it's the American style that do like the one-on-one take-ons, which is really good. Now, obviously, there's sim bins as well, the blue card, which could be really interesting as well. No fixed position, so you're just roaming around the pitch. It's like a 5v5 in real life, if you've ever played that. It's very, very simple. There's offsides in only the attacking third, which is a little bit weird. I thought there'd be no offsides, like I was just about to say, but there is actually offsides, and obviously Volta has been removed, and this has been taken in the place of Volta instead, which I do think is a good update by EA. Volta was never really a impressive game, I don't really enjoy it, but this 5v5 could be very, very interesting. But that's all for my video. As always, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do subscribe. Obviously, it's a little bit of a different kind of video for my channel, so I'm not really the best of speaking about it, but I am trying my hardest, and obviously I do speak a little bit fast for people that aren't naturally English speakers, so I do apologise if it's a little bit hard to understand me. But I've got nothing more to say, so if you want to see more kind of content like this, or obviously like my reviews, just let me know down in the comments down below, and obviously I'll try and get around to them. But I've got nothing more to say, so I'll see you in the next one, and peace out, guys.